Rain slicked the city streets, the kind of slow drizzle that made everything shimmer under the neon glow. Ethan tightened his jacket as he waited by his car, checking the time. Almost midnight. His shift was over, and he was ready to get home to his daughter. Just as he reached for the door handle, laughter, too loud, too forced, spilled out from the restaurant entrance. Clara Hayes, his boss, the woman who ran the company like a general commanding troops, stumbled out into the night. Her designer heels clicked unevenly against the pavement, one hand clutching her purse, the other reaching for balance that wasn't there. Two men followed close behind her, their smiles too sharp, their tone too familiar. "Come on, Clara, one more drink." "The night's still young," one of them coaxed. "You've had enough, beautiful," said the other, stepping closer. Ethan's instincts kicked in before thought did. He moved fast, slipping between them and Clara, his presence steady and solid like a wall. "Back off," he said, voice calm but edged with warning. The taller man frowned. "Who the hell are you?" "Her driver," Ethan lied smoothly. "And the last person you want to argue with tonight." For a tense moment, no one moved. The men exchanged glances, muttering curses before finally walking away, their laughter fading down the street. Clara blinked up at him, her mascara smudged slightly, confusion and embarrassment flashing in her eyes. "Ethan," she slurred softly. "What are you doing here?" "Making sure you don't end up in a headline tomorrow," he replied, steadying her by the shoulders. When she stumbled again, he caught her, her perfume, jasmine and something warm, filling the air between them. She laughed weakly, then sighed, her head falling against his chest. "You're a good man," she murmured. "Good men are rare." He said nothing, just guided her gently to the car, shielding her from the rain. Once inside, she sank into the leather seat, eyes half closed, muttering fragments of thoughts she'd never dare voice sober, how lonely success felt, how tired she was of pretending strength. As the city lights flashed past the windshield, Ethan stole a glance at her reflection in the mirror. The iron-willed boss he knew was gone, in her place sat a woman who looked fragile, almost lost. He exhaled softly. "Sleep, boss," he whispered. "You're safe now." Her breathing steadied, the tension in her body melting away. For the rest of the drive, he said nothing more, just the hum of the engine, the rhythm of rain, and the quiet realization that something had shifted between them, even if neither of them yet understood what. Morning sunlight streamed through the tall glass windows of the office, catching on the edges of framed awards and certificates. Everything about Clara Hayes' workspace was sleek, organized, and cold, like the woman herself was supposed to be. But as Ethan stepped inside, holding the stack of reports she'd asked for, there was a strange heaviness in the air, the kind that comes when two people remember something they shouldn't. He expected her to keep her head down, to play the part of the untouchable boss again. That was what powerful people did, erase their mistakes, pretend the night before never happened. He placed the files on her desk carefully, avoiding her gaze. "Here are the quarterly updates, ma'am," he said, keeping his tone neutral. For a moment, there was only the quiet hum of the air conditioning. Then, Clara's voice, low, steady, softer than he'd ever heard it, broke the silence. "Ethan," she said, and he froze. "About last night." He turned slowly. She was standing now, no trace of makeup from the night before, her hair pulled back neatly, but her eyes gave her away, tired, uncertain. "Human. You don't have to apologize," he said quickly. "It's not my place to." "I'm not apologizing," she interrupted gently. "I'm thanking you." He blinked, unsure what to say. Bosses didn't thank drivers. They didn't remember slurred confessions or admit vulnerability. But she was looking right at him, and he could tell, she remembered everything. "You could have left me there," she continued, her voice quiet but firm. "You didn't. And I said things I shouldn't have." "You were drunk," he murmured. "It's forgotten." "No," she said, shaking her head. I don't want it forgotten. The words hung between them like static. She took a small step closer, her perfume faint but familiar. I meant what I said, she added. You're a good man, Ethan. A better one than most I've met. He swallowed hard, unsure how to respond. Compliments from Clara Hayes were rarer than promotions, and this one felt dangerously personal. He tried to look away, but her eyes held him there. I was just doing the right thing, he said finally. That's all. A faint smile curved at the corner of her lips, tired, maybe even a little sad. That's what makes you different, she whispered. The office felt smaller somehow, like the walls were leaning in. Ethan could hear his heartbeat in his ears. He needed to step away before this moment crossed a line neither of them could return from. If that's all, I'll get back to work, he said, his voice a shade too steady. Clara nodded, but her eyes lingered on him as he left the room. When the door clicked shut, she let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. For the first time in years, she didn't feel like a boss looking down on an employee, she felt like a woman who'd been seen. And she knew, as she traced the rim of her coffee cup absently, that no matter how much she tried, she couldn't go back to pretending.